Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is a rainy, miserable day. I'm a little bit under the weather, and my final retail package of the Arete got delayed, and I just feel compelled to get you guys a little bit more information about the purpose behind the IEM. First and foremost, shout out to Ziigaat. I mean, they were absolutely beautiful to work with. They gave me so much control over the tuning, the aesthetic, the naming of the IEM. And the naming of Arete does have a purpose. Of course, the primary goal here was competitive gaming, but it needed to be something that excelled for music listening as well, with what Ziigaat is trying to do. And I think we have a beautiful crossover here, particularly at its price point. It's going to be very competitive in that A- to B+ range on my Wallhack certified tier list, competing with the Yanyan Cannon 2 and the Splendor 2s. The idea behind Arete coincides with its meaning. It is a kind of philosophy that comes from ancient Greece, and it refers to being a better version of yourself. It's this sense of realization of your potential in a particular area or an inherent function. It's about always trying to excel and be the best at what it is you're trying to be. And I thought that coincided with competitive gaming in a really nice way. So that is the meaning behind Arete, always striving for perfection. For gaming, I just want to get into Apex. First, I initially started the tuning to be specific for Apex, and I thought that that would be a really perfect way to fail at this particular release because I wanted Arete to be good for everything, not just one thing. They needed to be easy to drive for you mobile gamers. They needed to be easy to drive for you console gamers. And I think we've accomplished that here. And a lot of people will not find it necessary to have what I have on all of my testing, the Topping DX9, of course, a very powerful all-in-one amp DAC that I use for all of my testing. In Apex Legends, you will find that when you get into the game, the soundstage feels large, but it's not overly large and it's not too close. You get a beautiful sense of depth, and when you find that people are shooting at a distance, you will realize how good that sense of depth is. So, for instance, if you're on Olympus and you're pushing into gardens, you get an idea of where people are in what particular building, not just a general sense of somebody being out at a distance. You get this greater sense of yardage that's more specific to the data read that's coming to you. They excel at separation and layering. So when you're getting third-partied, fourth-partied, you're still hearing the footsteps. And I think they excel at providing a sense of information with slides, with climbs on top of buildings, a lot of those lighter kind of whooshes, those lighter taps. And I think that those things are particularly important because those things actually are the things that you kind of need to hear when you're getting pushed or somebody's trying to take an angle on you in Apex Legends. They excel in Apex in providing what I think is a competitive experience, again, to, on my list, the Yanyan Cannon 2 and the Splendor 2, with great imaging, great separation, great depth, great verticality, and very good layering. It's not a particularly overly bassy set, and that helps with separation. You're not going to be overwhelmed when there are 3 grenades going off, a Bangalore ultimate and a Gibraltar ultimate, while you are trying to listen to the things that are happening around you. So it is a really good competitive set in Apex Legends. Carrying over to Call of Duty is one of the hardest games to get a particular tuning for, and I think these are one of my favorite things for Call of Duty right now. The reason why is because the bass on the Arete is just enough to get you a really nice punch and to get you a lot of that information read on emphasis of what you need to focus on. So people punching through doors, it sounds very good in a sense of you get that punch. But when airstrikes are going off, when mortar strikes are going off, you're not going to feel overwhelmed with a great sense of rumble, with a great sense of just things occluding other things from happening. So it's a very clean set that feels open, not too far, not too close, and you get a lot of great information read on slides as well in Call of Duty, people parachuting in. Again, it's one of, I think, my favorite sets for Call of Duty right now. I was using the FIO FA19, which is $1,000. that little reduction in bass actually did, I find, help me in Call of Duty in particular areas. So it's a great set for Call of Duty and one of my favorites right now. I think the amount of information you get, the depth, the imaging, and that greater read of slides, as well as still having that punch for those more bassy things that you need to hear. It's just a really nice COD set. Getting into those tack shooters, Valorant, I think it's kind of a midline performing IEM for Valorant. It's one of the IEMs that you're getting everything you need for Valorant, but it's not necessarily an experience like the HD 490s where you get this exceptional read on footsteps with a huge sense of emphasis. It's kind of something that, again, it's a stage that feels large, but not too big, not too small. The horizontal read of footsteps behind walls is exceptional. So when somebody is kind of inching towards being in your line of sight, you get this great read of exactly when they're going to be passing that wall. You get a great read of footsteps all around you. Again, it's just not a set that's going to the footsteps are going to be booming in your ear. And I don't think you need it for Valorant. I think Valorant is one of the easiest games to get a really nice audio experience. That's more a sense of not only the size of the maps, but just the audio engine in general. So it's a very good set for Valorant as well. I do think, though, that we've made a very competitive IEM to the where I have ranked the Into Aura Splendor 2 in that B+ to A- range, and the Yanyan Cannon 2, which is also in that B+ to A- range. For music, I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this particular set. It's a different flavor of what Ziigaat has already done, the Dos Cinco, the Cinco Tres. This is a kind of vocal forward set. It's got a bass that's punchy, but not a bass that's going to overwhelm you and take you to planet Mars with its deepness, its richness, and overall impact within a track. But the bass is punchy. It's still fun. It's still got a very nice texture for music, as well as a bass that is not going to flood the mids. It's got treble that I do think one area of something that can be improved a little bit is towards cymbal crashes. There could be a little bit more air and a little bit more sparkle in that particular region. But overall, the technicalities, the overall naturalness of its U-shaped tuning and how it feels for vocals, it's just a really beautiful crossover from gaming and music. And I think in this price range is going to be very competitive and also offer a different experience to what's already in Ziigaat's lineup. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this, particularly those, again, that want a punchy bass that's not too much, and a very beautiful vocal set. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I don't want to fluff the Arete too much. Again, there's obviously a sense of bias because it is something that I worked very heavily on with Ziigaat. I love the Arete. I love its performance in game. I hope you guys do as well. That's going to be it for this one, guys. If you guys pick up the Arete, let me know in the comments how you like it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.